Make sure. Live we are. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Jeff with Simply Derivative. Welcome to our live stream, Friday, March 22nd. Oh, you're good. I could hear myself. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and go through our pre-market prep, analyze the ES, and find some levels for us to trade off of here this morning. Let's start with the big picture. Let's go to the daily. We got about 10, 12 minutes before the market opens. Daily, we have cleared these highs, recent highs, cleared this recent weakness. Saw a couple days where we might be getting a pullback, did not. And yesterday we rallied up through all of that to basically price levels we haven't seen since October of last year. So, bigger picture, we're seeing some selling pressure come in right now. Nothing really telling us, screaming at us to stop looking for longs or anything like that. So, continuing to do that, but we are having some weakness today. We're actually down 16.5 right now, pre-market in the ES, after a big up day yesterday. You can see on the smaller time frame, this was yesterday's action. Right from the start, we just literally went straight up. Few opportunities, but not really anything great, unless you just hopped on board early on in the morning. Let's go down to a 240 minute. Check this out. Okay. And we have some room to the downside, it looks like, at least for a completion of this pullback. We do have some room to the downside. So our levels that we need to pay attention to today, previous day highs, 28.66. Yesterday's low was 28.13.75. The open and the previous close are back up here above 60, or at 60 basically. And so what are the market conditions for us today? Let's just go over that real quickly, and then we'll get into smaller time frames. So as at the present moment, 10 minutes before the market open, we are below the previous close and the open, and inside yesterday's trading range. So that tells us two different things. Number one, we're having an inside day so far, meaning current market price and today's action so far is inside yesterday's trading range of 28.66 to 28.13. So inside day, that's one piece of information we need to understand. And then the second is we are below, again, the previous close in the open, with current market price being below that. So we're having a weak day so far. Current market price is lower than the previous close. So technically today we are having a weak day, and you can see that we're down 17.5 on the ES. Just another way to gauge market conditions and understand what type of trading environment we're in. So yeah, that's really what we're looking at, market conditions from a bigger picture perspective off of this 240-minute or 4-hour chart. We're testing the Globex low, or getting pretty close to it right now. So we're going to have somewhat of a significant gap down on the cash side of things, and so you can expect SPX in the cash market and SPY to gap down. We're down about 17 points right now. That would put us probably somewhere in here on a gap down, possibly. So that's something we have to pay attention to when we open up. You always want to look at the cash market to see where it's opening up into, and that actually goes back to yesterday. That was really the only opportunity, the best opportunity to get long. You can see the cash market opened up right here, which was basically the base of the move up once the Fed came out and said they weren't going to raise rates anymore this year. based on their FOMC meeting. And so cash gapped down into this area and then proceeded to take off. And so that's why we check cash, just to make sure that we're not coming into a level when the market opens regular trading hours that'll conflict with our futures trading. So there's that. Let's go down to a 60-minute. T, was there any Tori's with us today? Is there any levels or anything that you were looking at? Are we pretty much good on this?
I mean, initially all of the levels that are a little bit from where the base of where the initial move was at 2820 range.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, I would see that there's a couple opportunities.
Looking for
Maybe
some
more.
demand, some long opportunities down here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep. I agree. You got this strong move. You can't ignore it, even though it was. Um, Actually, this wasn't news generated. This was the news generated move up here. And this was yesterday. Basically took out that low. Got stuck into this consolidation. And you can see what happened with cash. Cash was right there. That's what happened. So, yeah, I agree. There's probably going to be something down here. We may have to go down to a smaller time frame to find it, but yeah. For the time being, maybe to get down there, this is a level that we have to seriously look at for shorts to start the morning off. It's about 5 points worth of potential risk in here. But yeah, so we basically have a bunch of, let me delete some of this stuff actually real quick. What I was going to say is we have a nice big profit potential on this short. No real significant demand until you get back to the origin of the move. The origin of the move is down here, back like you said, Tori, at 2820. And so there's nothing really to stop that. Maybe something right in here around the 35 area where you have this candle over candle kind of situation and it didn't go below. So there may be some demand in there. Got about 5 minutes before the market opens. But I would expect price to cut through this fairly easily. And so we have 18-point down day so far. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that we can get back down here and see price turn from there. So if we have some profit potential to the downside, some profit margin to the downside, we define our risk on the short side and then wait for the setup, execute the trade. Target would be back down here. First target would probably be about 35, and then second target closer to 20. We're going to see how the market opens up. But this is looking like an area we may want to consider getting short at. So going down to the 15-minute real quick. We got a few minutes, guys. The overnight low was 42 quarter, overnight highs 64.75. Basically, we had a down move in the overnight session, and that's what's putting us down 18 right now on the ES. So one of the things we like to look for is there any opportunities right outside the Globex areas, the highs or the lows. Is there any demand down here that would constitute a buy for us if we see the signal that we need? And the signal we need is price action or a candlestick pattern to confirm that buyers are coming in this particular area, and then we can hop on board. Let's see here, just based on this 15-minute, again, there's not much to stop price from going all the way back down there, but there is some congestion in here in this area. 39.75 down to 34.50. Probably even grab this up here. Why am I picking this area? Well, you had some candles with some indecision, and you can see that these bottom wicks are indicating that buyers were coming in and stepping in and taking this thing up. We took out the overnight high at this level and then proceeded to push through this high that was created through the Fed in and around this area. And so uh, this portion got retraced, and we're already through that. You can see we're trying to push down through that. Uh, so this would be the next likely spot that you could see prices basically stall out and reverse a bit. And so that would be something for a demand area, maybe a long opportunity. If prices got down below this Globex low, kind of looks like they want to. We have 2 minutes before the market opens. On the high side, there's nothing really on the high side above the Globex high. Basically have this high that was put in yesterday. Globex couldn't get above that, and we proceeded to make lower highs and lower lows. And so the demand is what we'd be looking for to get long. In terms of a supply area or resistance to short up against, there's nothing close to us. We'd have to look back at the cash market and see, just because going back more than 3 months is what we will have to do, which would put us on a different contract month for the futures. So looking at the cash market would be a better option since cash doesn't change. The levels stay the levels. Whereas with the futures contracts, they have rollover, and you're looking at different expiration months, and so prices may look a little different. So it's just better if you have to look back further than a couple months. You should always look at the cash market versus the futures market. The level is going to be there, and then you can find that and translate that to the futures market. So, all right, guys, we're about to open up here. Get ready. See what this market wants to do here. Like I said, we're going to gap down about 16 points. Let's see if they want to hold this low, continue to push it up. If not, we have this almost a trap area down below it. Got another 5-minute first. Oh, news-wise, we do have some reports coming out at 6:45, so in about 15 minutes, we got some news coming out here. PMI, wholesale inventories, existing home sales. So there may be some opportunities. Okay, so we gap down to 46. See where cash gap down right into this area. Basically was that previous high that got retested and pushed the market up higher. We're coming right back down into that area. Down only 13 on the cash. See if it's going to catch up to the futures a little bit here. Aggressive little long opportunity right off the bat. It looks like it wants to hold this little pullback off the Globex low. That's what it's doing right now. Popping up. Hey, good morning, Franco. How are you? Okay, it's getting back up above this 2850 possibly. A nice little hammer candle reverse. No, it's actually a hammer candle right up in here. Above all of this congestion in here. Get a little pop back up. Where's that? That'd put us at 54.55 right into these wicks. Gap fill's not all the way up until 61. Candle body gap close at 58. That little long right there was a quick little entry off of this. Should have went down to the 5-minute right away and seen that. Just a minute or two longer, we would have been there. That's okay. Doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Excited it's Friday. Excited to get in here and trade and do this live stream and have you guys join us. It's going to be a good time. Got this little base right in here. after a drop out of this zone. And that's what you see, that it's retesting again right here at that 28.50. Now, overnight trading isn't the greatest to lean against in either direction, but um, obviously because more volume is going to come in on the U.S. hours, and so you can see these levels that hold overnight, that work overnight during the overnight session, that just get blown right through during regular trading hours. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You can see, yeah, we're just trying to move through that. We have this white space up above, so we're going to try and see if this thing wants to gap fill up here. It's making its darndest attempt to do it right away. VWAP coming up at 51.75. Up to the 15. 'D. Yeah, gap fill is not for a few points above us. Way back up here, 61. Okay, we're at 50. 1 minute on this first 5. Let's wrap our lines around that. Pay attention to the first 5 minutes. There it is. Okay, there's our first 5. 51 down to 45. Just make sure that's right. Okay, let's go lock that. Get that in place. Yep, on the 60-minute, we're getting stuck up in these wicks up in here. Up at 50. You see, guys, I'm not exactly thrilled with this level in here, even though it may work out. But basically, we're in the middle. We don't like to diddle in the middle. So if you're going to divide up your charts into 3 parts, we're basically in the middle section right now, towards the higher end of it. But between the Globex section, or the Globex period, if you will, we're basically smack dab in the middle of it. Getting caught in the middle is not a fun way to trade, so let's just be patient here.
Usually the middle for us is the no trade zone.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for bringing that up. We don't diddle in the middle.
Now, granted, doesn't mean you can't not trade it. It's just something that we prefer not to trade.
Right. You could, if you want to trade it, you could just reduce your size. So if you're doing multiple contracts, just lighten up a little bit. If you're trading stocks, half your position size, half your shares. Trading options, cut back to options contracts. So same thing applies. We got some news coming out here in about 8 minutes. I don't suspect it's going to do much to the market. It's probably just going to push it in the direction it was already going to go. So, and that's the thing with news that people have to understand. What you guys want to understand: price leads the narrative. So price is always going to lead, and then the news and the media and everybody else is going to come in and rationalize what the move was, but the move happened prior to the news. And so for us, news, it's just not about what the news is or what report it is. It's just being aware that there is news coming out and what times, because that may impact your trade. So that's just something to be aware of. But for us, price always leads or comes prior to anything else. A little note to keep in mind, I guess, if you will. We're just letting this thing work right at the moment. There was that initial entry right at the open. Basically have this pullback into the base or the low on the Globex. This uh, bullish candle after this expanded range down. So that's uh, some selling pressure coming in, and then followed by some buying pressure. You can see they tried to push it up, got a wick down, created that base, closed higher than this previous candle, and then once the market opened, it took off. So that was a quick little trade to hop on board. I missed it. As soon as we went down to the 5-minute, the market was opening up and did this. So, but that's okay. Can't catch them all. You don't need to. So.
Exactly. You don't need to.
All right.
You just finding those opportunities. If one comes and goes, it's fine on the next one.
Exactly. Absolutely. Check the 240 real quick. All majors are down still, albeit slightly. Bonds are up. Gold's up still. Crude's down. $1.50. Come on. Why can't I grab this? Why can't I grab this? Why? Why? No. Here we go. Again, we have some room to the downside from where we're at. Let's see if we can get some selling pressure to come in. Have that short. Okay, what's going on here? Why is it doing that? Okay, about to take out the first 5. High. 51.75 if we can pop above that. Nothing for us to initiate at the moment. We're still waiting. I think yesterday you caught a lot of people short going into yesterday, and you can see that it basically squeezed everybody out. People got short after the Fed announcement, took that high out relatively easily and stayed above that. Cleared the week high, made a new week high. Now let's see how we finish out the week. Unless this was some real true buying coming in. I think it was more of a short squeeze. Your average retail investor and trader, they don't know what the hell's going on right now. They don't know what to do. Fed's not going to raise rates. Markets keep going up. They already rallied 20%, 25%, 22% from the lows. It's kind of like, what do you do at the moment? So I think a lot of people are still on the sideline, and the people that are trading, I think they were short yesterday, and they got squeezed out. Market rallied up. You can see overnight, and it just gave a good chunk of it back. Now, granted, we're climbing back up here this morning, but the damage may be done. You may see us limp into the weekend here. We'll see. Who knows?
Interesting times right now in these markets.
Oh, dollar's up. VIX is up. Couple minutes left on this before the news starts rolling out here. Uh, Manufacturing PMI, services PMI, composite PMI, wholesale inventories, existing home sales. We got 3 at 6:45 and 4 at 7 o'clock. So just something to pay attention to. As we were talking about the VWAP and it taking it out, it did not. Price is getting rejected at the first 5-minute high. A little range bound this morning here. Hmm. There's the news. It looks like they didn't like it. Let's see what those reports were saying. Not that it matters, but an astute market observer always likes to know what's going on. So not a bad idea to look at the reports that come out. Not like read through them. I'm just seeing like what the headline numbers are. We're trying to hold a low. Nice little range we're in.
One thing you guys will come to realize is we are very selective with our trades, and that comes with being patient.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't put something on just to put it on. We got to wait for our signal, our setup. You have to see it. You have to recognize it. Feel good about it. Put it on. All right, so we're dipping below the first 5. Well, see if we can get below this Globex here. Market PMI data. How come I don't see it? Did you get the numbers out? I didn't see them. They're not showing. There we go. Getting through that. Coming on down. Yep. If VIX wasn't at 14, I'd say let's wait until we got to an area where we see some demand and then go ahead and sell some puts here. But we got some room to the downside, and VIX has some room to the upside, so gotta be patient with that too. Man, nice little move here. Got caught up in those wicks and turned down. Somewhat surprised. But like I said, I mean, the market was already weak coming into this morning. We talked about that going into the open. Once the open came and we were waiting for those numbers, the market was just going to move in the direction it was probably going to move in already. The numbers just help it get down there a little bit quicker, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. So now that we have this first five and we have some selling pressure out of that area, we're going to use the first 5 minutes as a way to basically lean up against if we can get a move back up here for a further move down for shorting possibility. You can use the top end and the bottom end of the first five and even the first 15 minutes as well. Take a look and see what the first 15 looks like. Oh yeah. A reverse hammer out of this area. Which means some selling pressure coming in, pushing this down after it opened up. And you can see this next candle just dumped. Five on this guy. Anything I'm missing? No. Okay. Cool. Getting caught up in some of this congestion right in here. See, we've rallied up, put in a little high, pull back. This was the continuation of this breakout right in here. That's where we're getting stuck below the Globex. U.S. manufacturing PMI slides to 21-month low. Okay. That doesn't sound that great. For the bulls. Yield curve spread between 3-month, 10-month, 3-month and 10-year note inverts for the first time since 2007. All right. They said it was different this time, but apparently not. Probably nothing to worry about, yield curves inverting. That's all. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, this thing is just getting smashed right now. Boy, hindsight is always 2020, huh? That short up at 50 would have been the way to go here. At least right off the bat. This is basically the open area. This is the opening range of trading today. I suspect next time we get back up in here, probably today on a retest, this would be a valid area for a short up in here, guys. You see that strong move we're getting out of here, basically a continuation, excuse me, of this selling. And, again, we can use the first 5 and 15 as a way to, depending on what side the market's on, in this case it's dropping, so a retest back up to this area would be a setup for a short for us. So now we just have to wait for it to get back up there. The zone is a little big. I mean, you got to be willing to risk, a few points on this one. You may not need to risk this entire amount, but you'd have to go down to a smaller time frame then. Another way you can do it is just wait for prices to come back up in here. And then when price gets up in here and starts to chop around or produce a bearish candle, then that would be a way to hop on board. And then you don't have to basically risk this entire amount. When prices come into a level, they usually, and it's a significant level, and I would deem this a significant level, you're getting a nice sell-off. This is about a 14 points, 15 points just on this candle alone, this 15 minutes. So when prices retrace to a level of significance, in this case it would be, again, the market usually likes to barely touch the level or slightly get into it and then make its move, leaving everybody else behind, kind of. And then the second time that it comes back in there, then that's a lower probability type of trade and more susceptible to getting blown through, kind of. So the initial test is going to be the best test. First test is the best test. Now this is yesterday's first 15 minutes right in here that we just hit at that 30 mark. Not surprised. See this retrace. That's why I think this was more of a short squeeze, to be honest. Still nothing yet. We're just waiting. Need to go down to the smaller time frame or just wait until we get down lower? We kind of missed our opportunity up here at 50. I was hoping we were going to take out that first 5-minute high area and then reverse. Kind of had my eyes above here on this hammer candle with these wicks up in here. Quite didn't get there yet. So. Now if prices come back through here, it's still a valid area up above because you basically have all of this trading going on in here. If prices somehow break through this area, this open, then you're going to have a lot of people stops right above here, which would work out in our favor for a trap. Trying to hold this 28.30. Let's see if we can. Let's take a look quickly at cash. Cash right back into the top of that first 15 from yesterday. So So we've basically retraced this entire move that happened yesterday already. Good portion of it. So there's that first 15 on cash market as well. 40 up to 46. Another way to do it if you guys are playing, if you're on options or if you're on stock, uh, you can trade SPY or an SPX. You don't have to trade the ES. And these levels still coincide with each other and still will work. A high percentage of the time, when you have the ES hitting a level, cash market's going to be hitting a level, and vice versa. That's why we like to look back and forth between the two, just to get an idea where we're at. Gold near session highs, continuing to rally up, expected as the market's pulling down. VIX is starting to rally up, about 13% on the VIX. On the cash VIX, we're at 1530. I know the futures VIX were up higher than that, but that was because of expiration. Last week, it popped it up a few points. Waiting to see if we were going to get a bounce out of this area. Still not seeing that on that small time frame, which tells me if we don't see that here shortly, 7 o'clock coming up right now, we got housing data coming out. Let's see. Yeah, based on the 60, there's nothing in this green candle really to stop this from going down even further. But we shall see. News is coming out right now. Oh, darn it. Oops. Let's see here. Come on, numbers. Come on out. Sure taking their sweet time. You can see the market's already moving though, based off of the news coming out. There's always somebody that has access to news faster than you do. Okay. Existing home sales, is that what it was? In line with expectations. Okay. So you got some bad news followed by some okay news. How did that just change? That was a bit odd. All right. You guys got any questions? You got any levels you're looking at? Any prices you're seeing? Any action that you want to make mention to? I know we're only trading the ES here this morning, but 240. Let's see what that did. Still got a little room to the downside, I think. Again, prices are getting caught at the top of that first 15 minutes from yesterday. So when the open happened yesterday, people came in and you started buying. That's basically what we're hitting right now. There's really no level or price action behind it that would tell us that there is an opportunity. It's just sometimes price hits levels and turns. There's not much to lean against, if you will, to define some risk around and have a proper trade entry kind of based on a setup, not just a price level itself. Now, if there was some basing in here and it was defined as we had price action that gave us that opportunity, kind of like this. If we were looking for a base off of a low, if this came down and based out and had a nice strong move away, even though the move is strong away, but there's no price action or structure for us to really lean against. You can go down to a smaller time frame and kind of look for that. Other than that, you kind of just have to wait for the market to show you some bullish action, and then you can hop on board on that. Otherwise, it's kind of one of those situations where you just have to watch it and observe it. You could always, pick the price level, basically take the top where that close of that first 15-minute was, and put your order there, and then have some arbitrary stop below that. But you never know. You don't know how low this thing wants to get into this level. You don't know if it wants to hit the top end of it and bounce. I know we just talked about levels usually like to hit the initial portion of the level and then bounce. And that's true, and that's kind of why you're seeing this. But again, then it goes back to not having that structure underneath this to really give us that true picture of demand and really allow us to define our risk and have a valid trade setup. Market's down 30 points. Wow, good. B of A should be doing all right then. Good. We got some puts on B of A. So it's just so choppy down here. Go back to 60. Down to a 2. Thanks. Put in the bottom, you rallied up, bearish candle. Was going to be another bearish candle to follow through. Buyers stepped in, took it back up. Either going to drop and fill down, or we're going to rally back up. On the 2-minute, we actually have this little level in here. 39 up to 41.75. That's a level right below the Globex low. Maybe a little bit of an opportunity right here. Granted, it is on the smaller time frame, but you'd like to see this structure above the Globex coinciding with that first 15. But we can't make the market look the way we want it to, so we just have to take it how it is and decide whether or not we want to participate. Boy, your clickies are loud, man. You're good. Gotta get you some headphones or something. There we go. We got some cooking now, maybe. Got a couple opportunities here coming up. Hit that wick. Hmm. Yeah, well, my bracket is destroyed. When the games start today, like 9:30 again. Cool, cool, cool. Bunch of people not working. Now with streaming and all that stuff, you best believe everybody's got this, on their phone or on their tablet at their desk or wherever. Wonder if there's an actual productivity loss that can be calculated, like after the Super Bowl or something like that. I guarantee you. Yeah, I bet. Hmm. Oh yeah, I got Duke winning. Got Dookie winning. Tennessee just seems so random to me. Granted, I don't watch a lot of college basketball, so I don't know. Hmm. Right. Oh boy. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. So this price structure, we're on the 2 minute, but basically this price structure is something that we look for. Obviously, it would be nice to see this much higher up and not after a sell-off. It's tough to short after a move down. It has already happened, but we do have room to the downside. We have another 18 points, really, another 15 points to the downside, at least based on this 60-minute. And so, this is the structure that we like to look for in both directions, but in this case, it's a short. Basically, you have a strong move, a pause, and then another strong move out. And so you got that coinciding with the low of the Globex right above it. Again, like I said, it would probably be better to see that coincide with this first 15, first 5 low, but that's about 3 or 4 points off. So the situation is basically you can take this structure by itself and use that as a short, or you just wait for price to retrace up here and then take that opportunity instead. But in the interest of our live stream, I would like to get into this thing. $28.40 was the price I'm looking for. So we bottomed out around 7 o'clock, 7:15, about to be 7:15, 7:30. We may see another turn. So that's something to pay attention to, along with price levels and price structure and formations and candlesticks, guys. You also want to pay attention to time of day and be cognizant of that when you're entering and exiting trades. Time of day is especially important in the first hour, 2 hours worth of trading. You have the open. You have 5:30 Pacific is usually a time that you can see the market start to move. There's reports that come out at that time as well. Um, and then you have 7 and 7:30 as times as well when you can see the market move and have some reversals. And so just something to pay attention to. We got a close on that 15. We got a down move with the bullish candle followed. Probably expect prices to continue to climb. That throws a little wrench into this level right here. When you see a down move like this followed by a green bullish candle, a lot of the time, especially if it's hitting demand, you'll see it retest in here and then continue to move up. On the 5 minute though, there's no like price structure. There's no level that you can base that off of. That's part of the game that you need to play in terms of having your rules defined as, are you taking it based on the 5 or are you taking it based on the 15? Because on the 15, you basically have that price structure that you're looking for. Granted, it's it's a little wide, but let's see here. Let's go back to the 2. Yep. Topping out a little bit. You got that red engulfing candle here. Let's see. You're closer to the lows than you are to the highs, so that's something else to think about. T, you still with me? No, you're good. You're good. You're good. There we go. Popping up. Didn't quite get to 40, did it? 40 quarter. 40 quarter. There we go. There we go. Get on up. Get on up. Climbing. Climbing. Come on, get up there. 42 quarters low, Globex low. Keep in mind. Come on, come take that out. Take that out. Ten-year yield dips below the 3-month. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. You can see I didn't want to put that on. That small little 2-minute trade up in there. Just wasn't feeling it. You're a kitty. Patience. Man, it's almost 7:30 already. We haven't even put on a damn trade. Definitely been some movement to do so. May get our opportunity right in here. See? Boys and girls, let's do this. Mm-hmm. Little booger. 2 minute. Left the station without us. Go. Do here. Did sell off. 38 up to 43, about 5 points. A little bit outside of the risk I would be wanting to take on this small little day trade. Stuck in these wicks right here. Rally up, pull back, further rally up out of here. 37.25. They're still within that 15-minute base right in here. Couldn't get back up to 45. A couple points away. Seems like it's a point or two out of our reach on each side. Waiting for the 52, 53 up here, didn't get it. Waiting for the 45 on the short, didn't get it. Hmm. Yeah. There's no FOMO here. We're not missing out. We don't care. There's a million opportunities in a week, so you miss one or two, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Got construction going on outside. That's all I hear is beep, 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 beep. Hopefully they don't kill the internet. That'll be fun. Decent volume for today. That's pretty good. Coming on down. Where was the 1 minute level? Right above the Globex high. Alright, what the heck was that? What did you just do, market? What kind of funky price structure is that? Oh, that was a big horn. What the heck? Not clean. Not clean. It's already 7:30. No. No. Hey, Callie. Oh, good to hear. I'm glad you did. Hopefully you're able to find your way around it. I know there's lots of bells and whistles. Yeah, TradeStation is my favorite. This weekend you're going to learn. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, definitely. I don't know what your style of trading is or what you look at, but yeah, I mean, it's fairly easy and user friendly, so shouldn't really have any problems. I'd say get used to it and get comfortable with it. Um, you know, don't be afraid to use the simulator for a couple days. Just getting used to it. Nothing wrong with that. You got to know your platform. You got to know your tools, just like in any profession and anything that you do. You want to know exactly what you're using and how to use it, especially for your specific needs. And so, uh, yeah, spend the time because it's going to be well worth it. This is kind of head scratching right now. SOH, sit on hands. We're going over a little bit of the time, but whatever. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes. I'm gonna go to 7:45. What do you trade, Callie? You trade in the ES, oil, gold? Have you traded before? Come on, give us the signal. Market's definitely moving. Decent volume. Looks like this thing wants to move up a little bit here. Of course, as soon as I say that. Trump says U.S. economy would have grown at 4% without Fed tightening. Hmm. Okay, Mr. Trump. Whatever. Plan is to trade options for swing trades and futures for day trades. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You're talking our language. We got a bunch of options positions on, and we day trade the futures. It's the way to do it. It is definitely the way to do it. SPY and gold, nice. Two very liquid and nice movers, so that's good. You used to trade futures, okay. Once you know how to do this, it's hard to do anything else, to be honest. Once you know how to trade, once you are able to understand what the market wants to do and, you know, have your strategy, it's literally hard to do anything else. Exactly. Staying with the flow. This thing. Hmm. Is it 36? We got a few minutes. And I'll get up to our 45, yeah? Yeah, yeah. Get up to the 45, yeah, yeah. S- Yeah. They're totally listening to us, so it's fine. Yeah. Little reverse psychology, if you will. Trump again claims Robert Mueller and James Comey are best friends. Nice. He sure has a lot of time on his hands to comment on so many silly things. Maybe he's just super productive and organized with the schedule, huh? We'll give it 3 minutes. Now you got 2 minutes. Now you got some couple minutes there. Listen to what we said. Bigger picture, I still think we got some room to the downside. It's just don't know if we have it in us to push down there. Still early in the morning now, so got lots of day left. Okay. Crude down 1.5%. Gold is up $6. Bonds are up. Yields are down again. Markets are down. Dollars up. VIX is going in the right direction. All right, market. gave us some opportunities today so far. Just a little slow to it, it looks like. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to end here, guys, with the live stream. We'll be back at it next week. We'll do a couple more live streams for you. If you guys are interested in trading alongside of us multiple times during the week in our trading room, be sure to check us out at simplyderivative.com. You can sign up for our trading room, chat room, live 3 days a week, going over the markets for a full day, each day, 3 days a week. And yeah, we're doing what we're doing here on the live stream, but we're doing it with our other traders in the room. We're doing it 3 days a week, and we're doing it all day. So if you guys are interested in learning how to day trade the futures markets, how to analyze the charts and understand what the market is doing and telling you to do, then I'd highly recommend you guys checking that out. Again, we also have a course that we're coming out with, a digital course, 5-part online course that you can access at all times. That should be coming out around April 1st is the launch date for that. Basically, again, what we're doing here, learning how to do this, analyze the markets, and then set up trades and take trades in the futures market specifically. We have that course coming out as well. But other than that, we have tons of free content, tons of videos every day, analyzing the markets before market and after market. Really just trying to provide that commentary and analysis to the S&P. That's what we focus on mainly and trade mainly. And so if you guys are interested, be sure to check that out and make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, and have a good weekend. We will see you guys next week. Like I said, we had some opportunities this morning, just a little late to each of these. We wanted to short up here. We had our eye on the 52, 53 area. Weren't quite able to get up there. Probably should have just pulled the trigger anyways based on the 60-minute. And you can see took us down about 20 points from that level. And other than that, we were kind of waiting for this 45 to get hit again. Still not there yet. Looks like we're retesting the lows as we speak. Just be careful with the longs today. We do have some room to the downside. Further room to the downside. To complete the retrace from yesterday's up move, be about 28.20 is the level that you'd have to get down to. So just be careful with the longs. Price level much lower. It's about 15 points lower that we could possibly find some demand and some support. If we hold on to this, then we're probably going to head towards that first 15 up at 28.45. So keep an eye on that as well. And that's it. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. And thank you guys for being here. Like I said, we'll see you next week. We're going to do a few live streams next week as well. And yeah, have a good weekend. Trade safe, and we'll see you next time.
Hey guys.
Take care.